I think that performing is an extremely exhilarating experience, and I really enjoy the feeling before and after a performance, specifically after, maybe not as much before.
I started playing music in middle school, and I was okay at it, but the transformative opportunity came to me in high school. An unfortunate family event prompted a return to music through my principal. It's a long story, but I will say that this family event caused me some emotional harm to the point where I was just really feeling low. And my principal, knowing this, wanted to do something to help bring my spirits up, and in doing so he basically asked me if I would go up to the band room and play. And I picked up a trumpet again for the first time, and it wasn't so good, but my band director there saw something in me and had me pick up a trombone, and it just picked up from there. And there I just decided to practice every day to get as good as I could.
And where do you think it would be without music?
I would probably be delivering pizzas or delivering mail. If I did not, neither one would have been a bad thing. My dad was a postmaster, and I lived in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, where that's what we did. We delivered pizzas and worked at a pizzeria. But you know, music kind of took me to a new place. I got to meet new people and to have different experiences, and got to be a conductor.
I might be a lawyer. I might be a scholar. I have a fascination with building things and working with my hands. So I've always been envious of car mechanics. I know that sounds funny, but I've always wanted a part-time job in fixing cars and things like that. But I think probably I would be some sort of academic, something scholar or a lawyer or something.
How do you feel about performing?
Most of the time I get pretty nervous when I perform, so the first thing that pops in my head is nervous. It really depends on what I'm performing, but I enjoy performing. It brings me joy.
Is it exhilarating for you?
It can be, depending on what I'm performing.
Do you like performing?
I do.
Do you feel, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how stressed do you feel?
It depends on the performance. It depends on the nature of...
Your life depends on it.
I don't think I've ever been in a situation where my life depends on it for performing. But I performed at Carnegie Hall. I soloed at Carnegie Hall, so that was pretty stressful.
Like a 9?
That would be a 9, yeah. But I enjoyed it, so.
Performing is like my forte. It's like all I want to do. Like when I'm performing, it's kind of like the stage is like where I am. It's kind of like there's no pressure. Like before I perform, there's a lot of pressure to play well, but while I'm performing, it's kind of just me.
And do you feel stressed before you perform?
Yeah, I mean, there's always a bit of a stress factor. Like anyone who says they're not scared for a concert is lying.
What do you expect to feel when you play? Depending on the piece I play, I have to get into the mood of whatever it is. So if it's sad, I guess I'm expecting to feel introspection and like thinking about what I'm trying to convey through the music and the emotion. But if it's happy, I just want to convey the energy and like the positive feeling of the piece.
Do you like orchestra?
Yeah, actually orchestra is probably, orchestra is my favorite thing to play. So yeah, I like orchestra.
Interesting. And how do you feel about the pieces we're playing? Emery?
What are we playing? I don't, no,
what are we playing?
I really like the Cacciatorian. I think Joanna's gonna kill it. The Elgar, I love that piece. Everyone does, obviously. You know I don't like the Bartok. And the Hindemith, at first I didn't like it, but it's growing on me.
This time, while he's there, he pays particular attention to the music that they're playing there, which speaks to him in a way that it didn't speak to him earlier. Remember, Poland is a country again, and he is being pressured to write Polish music. So somehow he's looking for this Polish voice. Now the music that is in the Tatra Mountains is different, as mountain music is very often different than...
Why did you start playing? I started playing in 4th grade when everybody else was, because it was pretty big in my school, and especially like in my district. And then I just continued with it, and I really liked it, so I kept going.
My parents made me play.
So there was external pressure.
Yeah.
And why did you continue? Is it because of you or because of your parents?
Like, I would say a mix. I mean, I do enjoy it. It's not that I don't enjoy it, or that they would force me if I really didn't want to. But
I was tricked into playing the oboe. So I was in. It was the end of my 6th grade year, and in 6th grade we had exploratory classes, and they had clarinets set up on pegs as we came into the band room. And so I said, oh, I want that. That's what I want to play. And because it looked cool, you know? And because my last name starts with S, and because the band teacher went down alphabetically, all of the clarinets were gone by the time that I got to S. She got to S. And so I got stuck with the flute, and I hated the flute. And then we were allowed to switch after 3 weeks, and I switched to the trombone, and that was even worse. And so I had I was talking with my band teacher at the end of the summer, or at the end of the school, and she says, well, I have a thing that looks like a clarinet, but I only give it to my smart kids. Why don't you take it over the summer and see if you like it? And if you do, you will be the only oboe player in the entire school, and you'll get all the solos. But if you don't like it, guaranteed you'll play the clarinet in 7th grade band. So I was tricked. But after the first moment that I played the oboe, I loved it. So I never wanted to play the clarinet after that.
Aww.
Yeah.
Because I had nothing else to do.
Was there any external pressure?
No, but my parents did want me to like play an instrument, but they didn't want to like force me to do something I didn't want to. But I chose oboe. So.
Do you like practicing?
sometimes.
Why wouldn't you like it all the time?
Because sometimes it's hard.
That's rough.
Yeah.
Why did you start playing oboe?
Because I was young and I liked how it sounded, so I was like, I want to play the oboe.
Why did you start playing oboe, David?
Because I wanted to.
Wow. Did you have any external pressure?
No.
Are you sure about that?
Me, myself, and I.
Wow.
Music is an incredibly complex concept, so one might imagine that discovering the motivation behind it all would be almost infinitely more difficult. Being a musician myself, and having interviewed those in the musical community, I believe the motivation behind playing music can be broken down into 3 parts. First, as aforementioned, endorphins are released in the act of playing or listening to music, resulting in a physical draw. These endorphins are even more evident when people perform, which would explain the attraction to playing for an audience. Second, there is a sense of community in the music world. People who play feel like they're a part of an emotionally intellectual group. Lastly,
People feel more emotion when they play or listen to music. This, I believe, is the main force behind the intrinsic motivation. While there are external pressures like parents or trends, people who stick with it do it for themselves. Every person I interviewed, even without being prompted, emphasized their raw love for feeling what the music has to offer. Andres, the oboist, said, "It brings me joy." Izzy, the clarinetist, said she expects to feel certain things depending on the piece. People stick with music because it's an outlet for emotions, and combined with the community and the endorphins, it's no wonder why people love music.